Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with The Witcher modded. Now, this episode will again be nothing but me reading all of the updates to the journal, so if you're not interested in that, you can just skip it, and normal gameplay will resume from the next one. So, characters. Ada. At Loivarden's reception, I had the chance to meet Princess Ada. Some years ago, I relieved her of the Striga curse, and the princess has grown into a pretty, if somewhat wild and spoiled girl. According to the professor's notes, Ada collaborated with the Salamandra. She was behind the counterfeiting of the royal seal and forged a proclamation of the state of emergency. She was promised the throne of Themeria, though in reality Salamandra believed her to be unpredictable. The organization planned to break the alliance. Berengar. Vesemir mentioned a witcher who has left Kermoren before my arrival. His name is Berengar. Berengar was seen in the outskirts earlier. He agreed to kill the beast but then disappeared. Did he fear facing the monster? The early rumors about Berengar proved false. The witcher was working with Salamandra, and the professor had ordered him to find Alvin. Blue Eyes. The blue-eyed beauty from the House of Night has an interesting scar on her neck. Looks just like a vampire bite. Carmen. I met Carmen, a prostitute from Vizima's slums. All the local strumpets value her opinion, and it could be said that Carmen is their representative. I freed Vincent from the lycanthropy curse and managed to convince him that Carmen is worthy of his love. I hope things work out for them. Dandelion. I've heard rumors that the famous bard and poet Dandelion visited the outskirts. I met Dandelion, who supposedly always has been my best friend. From what I've heard, Dandelion is an indefatigable? I don't know that word. Windbag, a buffoon, and a wastrel. He is also a womanizer and an incredible talent for getting into trouble. At the same time, Dandelion is a truly talented artist, despite his tendency to wander the countryside and eke out a living through occasional performances. Dandelion got into trouble and I had to help him out. Everything I've heard about him has proven to be true. Foltest. The king has left the city. Theoretically, Burgomaster Velerat is to rule in his stead. In practice, the decisions come from an entirely different source, which causes chaos in the city. Geralt. A book entitled The Rivian Pogrom claims that Geralt, also known as the White Wolf, died during a massacre of non-humans. The pogrom took place in the city of Rivia just after the war with Nilfgaard. Geralt was killed by an angry mob when he tried to defend the oppressed. The sorceress Triss Merigold and the dwarf Zoltan Chive witnessed his death. The witcher's body was never found. The Professor. One of the leaders of the Salamandra attack on Kermoren was a man called the Professor, who seemed to be a cunning assassin. The other leader was a mage. It turned out that the assault on Kermoren was not the Professor's first foul deed. The arrest warrant clearly shows that my opponent is a wanted man. The Professor was released from the dungeon right in front of my eyes. He mocked the law and proved to me just how powerful Salamandra is. The Professor is dead. Defeating him wasn't easy, but it was very satisfying. Roderick the Vet. I met Count the Vet at Loivarden's reception. He hails from Nilfgaard, belongs to the Order of the Flaming Rose, and advises King Foltest on behalf of the Order. He is exceptionally loathsome and arrogant, and came to hate me from the moment we met. The Vet arrived at the party in the company of Princess Ada. I sense that there is something going on between them. The Vet turned to be a sworn enemy of Taller, the chief of the Temerian intelligence service. Shani. Soon after I arrived in the outskirts, I met Shani, an acquaintance from a long time ago in quite dramatic circumstances. Shani is completely devoted to medicine, her passion, and she has plenty to do in the outskirts, so there was no time for small talk. I got the impression that this sensible, intelligent girl likes me a lot. I dragged Shani into the business with the Salamandra, and although the girl was in danger, it all ended well. Shani finished what he had to do in the outskirts and returned to Vizima, to her house in the Temple Quarter. Shani works at the St. Lebioda's hospital during the day and spends the evening in her lodgings in the Temple Quarter. She hates it when people disturb her at work, so it's best to visit her later in the day. During the party, Shani recounted her experiences during the Battle of Brenna, where she tended to the wounded. I have a feeling Shani has come to like me a lot. Thaler. The fence's circle of influence is really wide. It also includes city guards. In the temple quarter of Vizima lives a fence named Thaler. He has many things that belong to Berengar and also deals in illegal goods. The fence is a repulsive man and uses particularly foul language. During the day he can be found in his store, which is located in a house in the temple quarter. Thaler put Berengar's Witcher equipment up for sale. I wonder how he acquired those things. For a fence and a thug, Thaler has a surprisingly extensive contacts, not only with thieves but also among the affluent. There was a lot of circumstantial evidence suggesting that Thaler was working for the Salamandra, and yet he proved to be innocent. It turned out that Thaler is a chief of the Temeria intelligence, and his fence guise is simply one of many assumed personalities. Thaler is interested in political situation in Vizima. He is also investigating an important case involving forgeries. To my surprise, Thaler the Fence was invited to Leuvarden's reception, at which only the rich and influential were present. Vampires. As a witcher, I have met many vampires. However, it is uncommon for these creatures to live amongst humans unnoticed for so many years. It seems, however, that it is possible. Velerad. Velerad governs Vizima, the capital city of Temeria. In Foltest's absence, Velerad holds the highest authority in the city. The Burgermeister knows me from a long time ago, since he was the one with whom I negotiated the contract for lifting Princess Ada's Striga curse. Although I don't remember Velerad, I have a vague feeling that he has grown old and taken to drink since we first met. People say that Velerad has lost his authority and doesn't run the city as efficiently as he used to. Yavin. Yavin the elf is as conceited as he is eloquent. He seems cunning and wise. Moreover, he despises humans, considering them aggressive barbarians, and has only respect for the elder races. Still, this disillusioned elf treats me with respect of his own, in a peculiar way. Everything suggests that Yavin is preparing for battle. In the swamps he has created a training camp for the Scoia'tael under his command. The Scoia'tael, led by Yavin, defeated the Order of the Flaming Rose during the clash in the Golem burial ground. Yavin is interested in the artifacts of historical value for the non-humans. He is looking for something which could serve as a banner for his Scoia'tael. Yavin remains a cynic and a pragmatist, even when thinking about the heritage of the elder races. During the bank robbery in the trade quarter, I decided to support the Scoia'tael. Yavin believes that the stolen money will finance an uprising. I asked Yavin for military support during the assault on Salamandra's headquarters. The elf, who was among those invited to Leuvarden's reception, agreed to help me dismantle the organization. Locations. Guardhouse. Law and order in the trade quarter is the responsibility of the city guard, which is headquartered at the guardhouse. Burgermeister Velerad is found here often. He oversees all affairs concerned with crime and security in the city. House of the Queen of the Night. For the people who can't complain about the lightness of their purse, Vizima's trade quarter offers entertainment of the highest quality. The most beautiful women await their clients at the House of the Queen of the Night. They offer refined pleasures and a chance to forget about the dreariness of daily life. New Naracourt Inn is a large, high-class inn frequented by the most important people in Vizima. One can enjoy a conversation over a goblet of good wine, play dice, try one's strength at the best pugilist in the capital. In the evenings, the New Naracourt hosts exclusive invitation-only receptions. Nilfgaard. The Nilfgaardian Empire is a powerful and ancient realm in the far south. The capital is the city of Nilfgaard, located on the river Alba. The empire rose through conquest, assimilating nearby kingdoms. Only the inhabitants of the lands near the river Alba have the right to call themselves Nilfgaardians. A significant amount of elven blood runs in the veins of the people, while their language is a variant of the Elder language. The Empire is aggressive and willingly invades neighboring lands. Its war with the northern kingdoms ended 5 years ago, yet in spite of the peace treaty, Nilfgaard has failed to give up its claims on northern territories. Redania. One of the northern kingdoms, Redania is a wealthy realm which profits from trade and agriculture. For ages it has fought a custom war with Temeria, which is its main competitor in the north. The country possesses best intelligence services in the world. The government of Redania is heavily influenced by sorceresses. Sewers. The sewers beneath Vizima were built in an age when an ancient elven city stood on the site. Not much of their original greatness remains, but they still serve their function well. Connecting the temple quarter and the trade quarter, they carry off sewage from the entire city, rendering the stench of the gutters a little less overbearing. The sewers have recently become infested with monsters, especially drowners. Apparently a cockatrice has also made its lair there. Secluded and rarely visited, the sewers have become an ideal refuge for the worshippers of the forbidden cult of the Lionhead Spider. I have found a way to reach the Salamandra hideout in the city sewers. As it turned out, Salamandra established a hideout in the sewers. Many miserable wretches were forced to manufacture Fistech here. Vivaldi Bank. Like any large city, Vizima also has a branch of a dwarf-owned Vivaldi Bank. It is located in a sturdy building with thick stone walls. Guards armed to the teeth watch the armored safes, while wealthy clients can count on discreet professional service. The bank is renowned, and so its reputation did not suffer when rumors began circulating of a hostile takeover. Apparently the bank's owner was having financial problems, and an anonymous investor took advantage. Trade Quarter. Vizima's trade quarter is teeming with life. It is inhabited by the capital's social elite, nobles, wealthy merchants, townspeople, sorcerers, even Burgomaster Velerat himself. The cobbled streets are kept clean. The brick houses with flowers in the windows are huddled side to the side of the narrow streets, testifying to the wealth of its inhabitants. After all, not everyone can afford a home in the best district, situated near the castle of Foltest himself. At the very center of the trade quarter lies a large marketplace where merchants exhibit luxury goods from all over the world. Nearby stands an impressive town hall. Currently, due to the quarantine, only a few people with letters of safe conduct are allowed into this place, part of Vizima. Monsters. Dagon. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die, which is obviously a quote from the Necronomicon regarding Cthulhu. Powers older than humanity slumber in the depths, where no rays disturb them. Gods and demons sleep in underwater cities, awaiting their time, and it is said that when the hour comes, they will awaken and bring annihilation to the world. One of those creatures, Dagon, rests at the bottom of the lake and is worshipped by the Vodianoi and lunatics. Dagon is an embodiment of strength and fury, and when he comes ashore, he brings destruction incarnate. Forbidden books like the Hymns of Madness and Despair describe the ways to summon him, for he can only be called to a place dedicated to him. Alp. No other monster inspires so many myths and fallacies as the Alp. People believe that this vampire is able to turn into a black dog or a venomous toad. They mistake Alps for succubi, believing them to be lecherous and inclined to seduce handsome young men. Folk tales describe their charms and their most beautiful seductive voices, as well as their loathing of virgins. What is true beyond any doubt is that they move noiselessly and attack with surprise, rarely giving their victim as much as a chance to scream in terror. Bruxa. It is said that Bruxae hunt attractive young men and drink their blood. These vampires move quietly in the dark and suddenly emerge near their victims. Bruxae may take form of beautiful girls, leading some to mistake them for water nymphs, but their long fangs and unrestrained thirst for blood betray them. Fleder. Common people believe that Fleders are dead heathens who turned into vampires and rose from their graves. Being vampires, they attack sleeping people and drink their blood. According to peasants, a man bitten by a Fleder becomes a Fleder himself. That is nonsense, obviously. Garcane. Garcanes, the filthiest of vampires, are uglier even than the Fleders. Since Fleders are widely despised for their looks, it is easy to imagine how abominable Garcanes must be. As vampires, the creatures drink blood, but they are also drawn to fresh meat or even corpses. Garcanes are often mistaken for gargoyles because they lurk on rooftops, waiting to dive at their victims. Giant centipede. Giant centipedes have been known to have been raised in Brokilon and released into the world have been said to have been raised in Brokilon and released into the world by vengeful dryads. The creatures are believed to be invincible, as they simply divide into two separate living beasts when cut in half. All this nonsense about giant centipedes show only how intensely common people fear those venomous beasts, as they fear all things that are not human. Kikimor Queen. Some scientists claim that Kikimors behave like ants. They are divided into industrious workers and protective warriors. Life in a Kikimor colony is centered around a great, unceasingly procreating female. The landscape around the queen's nest looks like a desert, littered with the remains of the unfortunate creatures which have unwisely lingered in the area. Not even bird songs can be heard. A Kikimor warrior. A more abominable beast is indeed hard to find. Not quite a cockroach nor a spider, it makes ladies faint and gentlemen feel disgusted. The Kikimor warrior reeks of the swamp. For this reason, I insist that the exhibit number 88 be removed from the University Assembly Hall, and anticipating the question, what should be done with them, I answer, throw it to the compost heap, from a request submitted to the president of Oxenford University. Kikimor worker. Kikimors are an insult to the gods, the filthiest creatures on earth. They are repulsive in the resemblance to spiders, and even the smallest of them, the workers, are dangerous. So say the uneducated, superstitious, and stupid. The truth is far different. Kikimor workers rarely appear near human settlements, and even then they only attack when threatened. Is there anything more beautiful than a Kikimor, a symbol of hard work, resourcefulness, and caution? Master Doregray, the wonderful world of insectoids. The Skullhead. Archaeological research is the only source of knowledge about skullheads. Skeleton reconstruction makes it possible to describe the creature's appearance and movement. Addressing his students, Professor Sandivoy Barron summed up the research on the skullhead thusly: "We are more than lucky that the bastards died out." Vodianoi Priest. The Vodianoi are an ancient, sentient race. They worship their own gods, and their priests deal with divine matters. Land dwellers know little of those underwater creatures, and the cults which flourish among them, and what is known inspires fear. Deities of the deep lend their powers to the Vodianoi priests, allowing them to cast curses and spells. Tsoigl. The Tsoigl is the best example of a monster that has grown to be accustomed to human settlements. The beast feeds on waste and filth produced by the city, so it need not hunt or fight to survive. It simply grows and gradually becomes a danger to people. This shows how detrimental continued degradation of the natural environment can be in the long run. Therefore, I implore the reader, respect nature. Formula. De Vries extract. The talented sorceress Tisaya de Vries is credited with creating this powerful potion, which won her considerable renown. The potion improves the imbiber's vision and allows opponents to be detected even through walls. Devil's Puffball. The formula for this bomb was developed by a Zerikanian alchemist and migrated to the Northern Kingdoms thanks to traveling merchants. Dragon's Dream. The Zerikanians worship dragons, so it is no surprise that this mixture, which releases a cloud of flammable gas, is named after the fearsome beasts. Whoever detonates a dragon dream is sure to conjure the spirit of the creature itself. Kikimor's Ire. Kikimor's queen unique nervous system inspired renegade mages to develop this strong mutagenic potion. The potion causes changes in the ventral cavity and also prompts production of mutagen digestive enzymes. Broad use of the potion was curtailed due to the scarcity of its core ingredient. Samum. Zerikanian wizards have learned to harness the energy of hot desert storms and bind it into an arcane mixture. When detonated, Samum releases its energy and stuns opponents with the ferocity of a desert wind. Werewolf's Wrath. It was determined ages ago that a potion containing the fur of a werewolf could strengthen a witcher's mutations and augment his predatory instinct. Opponents of this potion's use argued that it made witchers similar to monsters. As a result, the use of werewolf's wrath has been restricted, though few objected since acquiring the beast's fur is risky business. White Raffard's decoction. White Raffard, a famous mage of times long past, developed a healing potion for the human warriors who conquered the New World for the race centuries ago. Witchers have found a new, more efficient way to produce White Raffard's decoction, using ingredients obtained from monsters. Classic Witcher training suggests that the Swallow potion be consumed simultaneously, for White Raffard's decoction is highly toxic. Willow. Willow augments the Witcher's physical coordination and resistance to damage. It should be taken right before a fight, during which the Witcher risks being knocked down or stunned. Wives' Tears. Village witches sell this brew to women whose husbands patronize local inns too frequently. Witches, lacking the mastery of the arcane secrets of alchemy, usually know only one method of creating the wives' tears. Wolverine. It is not by accident that the Witchers have named this potion after an animal known for its fierce and aggressive nature. The Wolverine unleashes the entire potential of mutations, turning the Witcher into a dervish of destruction. Witchers use this potion when they are certain that science will not help them in combat. Zerrikanian Sun. Assassins from the sect known as the Zerrikanian Sun use this flash bomb to cover their escape after they eliminate a target. Sentries and guards blinded by the flash are more likely to attack each other than the opponent. The sect trains its assassins to close their eyes instinctively at the moment of detonation. Witchers do not need this as their mutated pupils automatically narrow in response to the explosion. I will not read about the ingredients because that's kind of pointless. I will just click through them so that, you know, they are sort of marked as read. And the glossary. Destiny. The poet Dandelion contemplates whether human life is ruled by destiny. Dandelion mentions the law of surprise. When a witcher demands from a man rescued on the road that which he does not expect only when he returns home, it turns out to be a child born during the father's absence. Witchers take the unexpected children to their fortresses and train them to be their successors. Dandelion also wonders whether love can bind people with bonds of destiny. In no ballad does he provide a clear answer to the question posed. Gifts. Geralt can present gifts to many of the characters in the game. Usually the recipients express their gratitude by offering useful items or information. Gifts can also help Geralt win the affection of the women. The trick is to choose the right gift from Geralt's inventory. Usually the characters themselves suggest the kind of gift they would like to receive, and Geralt can figure out what would make them happy based on the hints. For example, peasant women like to receive flowers, while townswomen prefer jewelry or clothing. Prostitutes would rather get money, and elegant courtesans desire precious gems. It is important to remember that a badly chosen gift may insult the recipient. That is probably mistakenly placed here, and it should be in tutorials, because it's written in a way that clearly refers to game mechanics and such, which is not something that this glossary usually does. Mages. Only the rare individuals have the potential to become mages, and many of those with this potential are doomed to madness. Unless the individual in question, also known as a source, learns to control their power quickly, he or she may end up half-insane, slobbering oracle. That is why schools of sorcery were created, where talented children study for many years, acquiring knowledge and mastering magical skills. Because of their power, mages age more slowly than ordinary people. They can extract magical energy from the four elements, transport themselves over long distances, and heal as well as kill in the blink of an eye. They have extensive scientific and political knowledge. In the latter respect, many mages are equals of rulers. Simple folk fail to differentiate between witchers, sorcerers, and witchers. Anyone who wields magic is regarded as suspicious and godless, but the better educated and those who dwell in large cities know to treat magics with due respect. The early days of the war with Nilfgaard saw the end of the Brotherhood of Sorcerers, an organization which grouped magic and mages and closely controlled the practice of magic. During the Brotherhood's last assembly, a rebellion broke out and Thanet Island. Some of the mages were accused of high treason, that is, working for Nilfgaard, and were either arrested or killed. The remaining sorcerers won independence and set up smaller associations. In the wake of the rebellion, the mages retained their influence. Many of them remained royal advisors, sometimes even ruling countries from behind the scenes. Philippa Eilhart strengthened her position as Eminence of Redania, whereas the elf Franziska Findebar, the Queen of the Dol Blatana, took a greater interest in the affairs of humans and became a ruler of the Elven lands in general. Tris Merigold, one of the youngest sorceresses and a representative of King Foltest, also joined in creating this new order. Redania. Redania borders Temeria in the north. It is ruled by King Radovid V, also known as Radovid the Stern, son of the murdered King Vizimir. The monarch was 13 when his father was killed, so the royal council assumed power until the prince came of age. After his coronation, Radovid gained notoriety for dealing brutally with anyone who has previously mistreated him or his mother Hedvig. The most important cities in Redania are the capital Tretogor, the free city of Novigrad, which enjoys far-reaching autonomy, and Oxenfurt, with its famous university. Okay, I'm not going to read the tutorials, which there are none of, to be honest. So, normal gameplay will resume from the next episode. For now, I am going to save and end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.